What is up, all of you Wayward Souls? Today we are doing a short review video on this guy right here. Alrighty, so let's get on with it. As I said, we are reviewing this watch today, a Casio G-Shock. Why are we reviewing it? And to be fair, it's more of a quote, end quote, testimonial. Why are we doing that? As I've told you guys before in so many of my review videos, I have yet to get paid to review or influence or do any of those kinds of things. Up until this point, though, Casio, DM me. I could be courted. Absolutely. But I find that, like, complete transparency, review videos are where the YouTube views are at. Y'all, I go out and do something psychotic like rappel down a hole, literally a hole, not much wider than my body in the Ozark Mountains. I think it's like 80 views. I do a review on a friggin' Lifetime kayak and it has 21,000 views now. That's where the views are. Why do I want views? Because I have a podcast I'm trying to promote. Just complete transparency. Like it's a cross-platform type of situation, but also it serves you because you know how I buy stuff these days? If I'm spending a bunch of money, I'm on YouTube and I'm finding out from people who have used it, real endpoint users, how did it perform for you? How long has it lasted? So when I come across something that I've used for a bunch of years and it is still doing its job really well, I'm 100% like pro that product. And I want to tell you guys about it because it could serve you well as well. Allow myself to introduce myself. Anyway, let's get on with it. So Casio G-Shock from the interwebs. The G-Shock is a line of watches manufactured by the Japanese electronics company Casio, designed to resist mechanical stress, shock, and vibration. G-Shock is an abbreviation for gravitational shock. The watches in the G-Shock line are designed primarily for sports, military, and outdoors-oriented activities. Nearly all G-Shocks are chronographs with either a digital display or a combination of analog and digital displays. Mine is a combination, analog and digital. Basically, these are made for law enforcement, police, fire, EMS, search and rescue, which I'm about to attest to, and just outdoors activities, which I'm also about to attest to. This is more of a testimony than it is really a review because it's a watch. What do you review? After you say, it still works after 7 years, you've said everything there is to say. Still looks good too, but other than that, nice short video. But testimonies carry far more power because it's like, hey, listen, this thing has lasted 1 billion years under these circumstances, these conditions. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight. I love this watch. I've had it since 2015. It is now 2022. It's still ticking. It still keeps time perfectly. And it still looks really, really nice. Like, that's the review part of this. It still looks great and it still works after all the hell I've put it through. So what is the hell that I've put it through? That's what we're here to talk about. I've had it for 7 years. I've been in search and rescue for 5 years now. So 5 years of search and rescue abuse that I will detail as quickly as I possibly can, some of the more extreme things, and also work abuse. Well, I mean, hiking, kayaking, like this thing is water. It says water resistant on this one. You can get them flat out waterproof. You can get them water resistant. This one is water resistant, but I assure you, I've been at the bottom of the drink out there on a whitewater river many, many times. This thing has been underwater or soaking wet more times than I can even begin to count. I couldn't even begin to estimate because you combine all the times I float a river, which is probably 20 plus times a summer, all the search and rescue missions that have ever put me into a watery situation, which is quite a few now, and work. It rains on you at work. Like, I deliver packages for Big Purple, okay? That alone, 4 years of that on this watch being crushed up against, shelves while I'm trying to get 80 pounds of cat food off of my truck. Karen, thank you. And just constantly, it's raining. It's always raining. It's always out in the sun. So there's just that alone. There's 4 years of abuse, that kind of physical, manual, hard labor abuse on this watch. From a search and rescue perspective, probably rappelling, probably technical ropes is where this has gotten the most abuse. But every time you've ever been out there in the water, like, guys, it's just been a couple of years ago now that I was literally wading like waist deep through I think it was Frog Bayou, as a matter of fact, into Lake Fort Smith, waiting for extraction from game and fish at 2 o'clock in the morning. This thing was soaking wet, covered in mud, beat to pieces. It still works. You wash it off, it still looks great, it still works. It's been underwater multiple times on multiple kayaking adventures. This guy, that's the thing. I don't know how to say enough about it without going into extreme details of everything I've ever done, which no one's going to want to sit here and listen to. But this thing has been through hell for 7 years. Biking, hiking, kayaking, search and rescue, underwater in search and rescue, soaking wet in search and rescue, down the side of cliff faces and technical ropes things, search and rescue. It has been beat to pieces through the everyday wear and tear of my job, delivering packages all over this great country of ours. Y'all, there's barely a scratch on the face. Now, you're not going to be able to see it very well in this scenario because of the ring light and everything else, and it's kind of even hard to get a good visual on it. But this is a good looking watch, and it still looks good, and it's still keeping time. Like, it still works like a freaking charm. And that's the testimony. Like, that's all I've got. This thing has lasted me 7 years through very heavy abuse. I'm an extremely active person. Even my job is extremely active and very physical, very manual. And this guy's still going. And that's what dawned on me earlier today when I thought, God dang, that watch still looks good. How long have you owned that? Holy crap. Almost 7 years. That's something to go on to our little YouTube channel and tell people about. And so we have. Anyway, this video's gotten quite long. That is my testimony to this watch. 7 years old, and I'm not going to use that old line because it's probably not even Casio, but it has taken a licking and it still works. Anyway, you guys have a good day. Check out the podcast anywhere you get your podcast, Wayward Stories. If you're interested in any kind of content like outdoors related, outdoor themed, I don't really do reviews there, but we talk about a lot of stuff an hour every couple of weeks. Check it out. Until next time, you guys, thanks for stopping by. Please like and subscribe, and we will catch you in the next video. Until then, be good to each other.